Hey guys, so I have started this little series where I basically tell you guys my top 5 favorite something something. I've made 2 before. I have made one called My Top 5 Favorite British TV Shows. You can click right here to watch that. And I have also created one called My Top 5 Favorite Animated TV Shows. So you can click right here to see that. This is feeling very crowded. Let's get going. Alright, so today is going to be my top 5 favorite American TV shows. I had to do it. So, nothing more to say. Let's get started with the list, shall we? Number 5 is Anger Management is, y'all know it's with Charlie Sheen, right? And say what you want about Charlie Sheen, but he's an amazing actor, and he really is good at, like, comedy-based series, and so, of course, he's good in Anger Management. It's not one of my favorite shows of all time, which is why it's number 5, but it's definitely a great show, and I've watched the entire first season. I gotta admit, I haven't watched the second season, but whatever. It's still a good show, and I would definitely recommend people to watch it. If you're a fan of Charlie Sheen in 2.5 Men, where he played Charlie Harper, you will also definitely like Anger Management. So go check that shit out. And yeah, it's a pretty good show about Charlie Sheen, his life, I guess you can say. But instead of being a young bachelor, he now has an ex-wife, a kid, and he is the tutor of an anger management class, as the title forgoes, where he takes people into his home with anger problems and basically have therapy sessions with them. And he also does therapy sessions in prison. So it's a pretty good show. Go watch it if you like Charlie Sheen. And let's keep on going with this list. Number 4 is let's go back to the original days. Okay, so I haven't watched The Little House on the Prairie for so many years now, but it's a really, really good show, and it's based off of the books that I really love, written by the main character in the series, Laura. It's about her life, living on the prairies in the late 1800s, and it's a really good show. It is definitely really well produced. It's a very, very old show though, but it's really well written. But, you know, if you're really into the whole new series kind of thing, you know, series that are being produced nowadays, then you might not like The Little House on the Prairie. It's very much for house moms, I think, which is why I also watched it, because my mom would always watch the show, and so I would just sit and watch it with her, and I kind of got attached to the show, I gotta admit, because it's a really good show. There's a lot of drama in it, and the characters on the show play it really, really well. So you should definitely go check out that series if you're into Western-style movies and series. So go check that shit out if you want to, and let's keep going with the list, shall we? Number 3 is 2.5 Men is such a great show. Let me just put it out like that. And even though it has been running for so many seasons now, it still keeps being good. And also keeps being good after Ashton Kutcher came into it and took Charlie Sheen's role. It is still really good. The Charlie Sheen version, where he was the main character, was definitely better. But I really like the new version as well. And it's basically about these people in the series' life in this beach house in Malibu. And yeah, there's not much more to say about the show actually, because it changed so much when Charlie Sheen went off and Ashton Kutcher went in. So there's not really a more fit description I can give. Basically, there's Alan, who has a kid, who then moved into his brother's house at the beginning of the series 10 or 11 years ago. And then there is his son Jake, like I said, who is a very funny kid, who then grows up to become a full-grown man and goes into the military. And Miley Cyrus also had a guest appearance on the show a few times. So it's a really good show. You should definitely go check it out. There's not much more to say about that. It's a really awesome show, and I've watched every single episode of it. It's so awesome, so go check it out, guys. Let's continue with this list. Number 2 is... Now, you might not know what the Michael J. Fox show is, but you probably know who Michael J. Fox is. That's the guy from Back to the Future, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease back in the late 1990s, back in the 90s. So it's a show about his life, his family, but it's centered around another thing, because in the series he is a news reporter and not an actor, so it's kind of changed a little, but it is supposed to be about Michael J. Fox's life, just with a few changes. And it is also the woman who plays Marie on Breaking Bad is also the wife of Michael J. Fox in this series. It's a very, very new series, so go check that show out. It's really, really awesome. I think old fans of Michael J. Fox back when he was in Back to the Future and Spin City and all of these things, and Family Ties, I think people who loved him in those kind of movies and series will really like this new series about him. So go check that series out. It's a really good series and a really new one. So it's great. Number 1 is... you kind of see that I have kind of been building up to this one. Breaking Bad is such an awesome show. You might have heard a lot about the show because there's so much buzz around it all the time because it just ended not so long ago, and it's such an awesome show. I've watched every single episode from the beginning. It is so awesome, dude. Really awesome. It's about this drug dealer called Walter White. Well, he's just an ordinary family man who gets diagnosed with cancer, and so to pay for his expensive cancer treatment and to make sure that there is money for his family if he dies, he decides to cook meth because he knows the chemistry with a young man called Jesse Pinkman, played by Aaron Paul. The main role, Walter White, is played by the very awesome actor from, maybe you know him from Malcolm's Dad or King of Queens, Bryan Cranston. He's a really awesome actor, and the show basically, centers around him being all of a sudden a drug dealer and having to keep it as a secret from his family, and all kinds of crazy shit happens, and his brother-in-law is a DEA agent, so there's a lot of shit going on there. So it's such an awesome show. It's the best show on American television, that is 100% sure, and so you should definitely go check it out. It's a really, really good show. I am going to get going. Thank you guys for watching this countdown list video with me, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye. Hey, what's up, you guys? You saw me do my top 5 favorite British TV shows, and today I'm here to do my top 5 animated TV shows. Let's go.